Shout out to our sponsor, Dollar Shave Club. See why over 3 million members love Dollar Shave Club. They are so confident in the quality of all of their products that now you can get your first month of the club for just $1 and the shipping is free. After that, it's just a few bucks a month. No long-term commitment, no hidden fees. Learn more or get yours at dollarshaveclub.com/no. Welcome to The Know, I'm Mica Burton. Nintendo surprised at E3 with the announcement of 2 separate Metroid games, as rumored, the in-development Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch and the upcoming 3DS 2D Metroid, Samus Returns. That second game in particular caught some notable attention from fans because it's a remake of Metroid 2, the same game that the fan-made AM2R was based on, which Nintendo famously shut down last fall. Well, now Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé is finally talking about the AM2R elephant in the room. Fils-Aimé said in an interview with Waypoint, "We allow homages to exist in a variety of different ways, and for me personally, as a fan before I was an executive, I understand the attraction that you could have to our IP. But when it transitions into something that now you're trying to monetize, you're trying to sell, you're trying to profit off of, that is what broaches or breaks through that line for us, where we have to claim our IP protection." Of course, AM2R wasn't monetized, but it sounds like Reggie's trying to say that game totally would have stepped all over our own remake, which, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Last week, Phil Spencer indicated that there are some secret Xbox exclusives in the works. However, they are a few years away, and now another Microsoft executive is making the same claims. Marketing boss Aaron Greenberg talked up Microsoft's upcoming mystery games in an interview with Game Reactor. Speaking about these exclusives, Greenberg said, "It's a fine balance of how much do you show early. I can tell you that there are a lot of other projects happening for Xbox with a lot of big titles that we're not talking about today." So that's good news for Xbox fans, assuming any of those games make it out of development at some point and don't turn into Scalebound. INSOMNIAC Spider-Man was one of the stars of E3, but not everybody was a big fan of the demo they showed off at Sony's press conference. One of the big criticisms of the major set-piece gameplay that they showed had to do with the amount of QuickTime events. However, INSOMNIAC is now responding to those complaints. The company has now reassured fans on Twitter that the brief snippet of the game wasn't representative of the core, writing, "It's a set-piece blockbuster moment. The core loop of the game is combat and traversal." They went on to say, "Oh yeah, and you can free roam the city and do stuff. We aren't getting in depth on that right now, but it's there." BioWare's new IP, Anthem, was light on details at E3, besides being another open-world RPG that you can get addicted to with friends and hopefully bang space aliens, but now the company is opening up a tad bit about what you can expect from the game's story. According to General Manager Aaron Flynn, Anthem isn't quite as hard sci-fi as their previous series Mass Effect, but is instead more in the realm of science fantasy. In an interview with CBC Radio, Flynn said, "The story is that you are a part of humanity, and you're a member of a group called the Freelancers, who are out there to protect and save humanity on an alien planet far away. It's in a genre we call science fantasy. It's very much like Star Wars, very much like the Marvel Universe, where you see a lot of amazing things happening, but we don't worry too much about why they're happening or how they're happening, the science of it." Speculation that Final Fantasy 15 is coming to PC is kicking up all over again, thanks to some teases by Square Enix. Final Fantasy 15 director Hajime Tabata commented on a recent episode of the Active Time Report that they've held some announcements back from E3. Tabata said, "That's right, we've been very busy. We must make it so that we can announce some proper good announcements for the summer. We want to share some good information at Gamescom." Naturally, this has fans wondering exactly what he's talking about. The big guesses are either the long-teased PC port of Final Fantasy 15 or some brand new story content, as the company's been taking surveys on what fans want to see most from the game's narrative. Either way, we'll find out more at Gamescom in August. I'm hoping they're releasing an official set of Final Fantasy Chocobros body pillows. Give me that Gladio, please. Are Grand Theft Auto mods back? Well, despite announcing recently that it was ceasing development after a takedown notice from Take-Two Interactive, the developers of the modding tool Open4 released a small update today. It's just for bug fixes and small improvements, but it's a sign that someone is still working on it. This comes after Take-Two and Rockstar seemed to back down a little bit on their recent anti-modding moves, saying on Friday that they wouldn't take legal action against third-party projects so long as they were single-player and non-commercial. So maybe Open4 is back in business? If so, it would mean that Take-Two and Rockstar listened to fans' response, which is always a good thing. Hopefully those cheating mods will still stay banned though, because those are really dickish. It looks like a standalone remastered version of Modern Warfare is official. A trailer was released on Call of Duty's YouTube channel showing off the game that was originally packaged with Infinite Warfare, but it looks like fans, surprise surprise, aren't impressed. The video has more than 18,000 dislikes compared to its 26,000 likes, and the comment section was flooded with the salty COD responses we know and love. Apparently nobody likes that the game costs $40 and doesn't have any of the DLC that comes with the first game. I mean, who would have guessed? Oh well, if you're still interested and aren't just slamming that dislike button, it's out tomorrow. We are starting to get first impressions of Spider-Man Homecoming, and as is the case with a lot of first impressions, people love it. Jermaine Lucier of Gizmodo called it a blast and said it's the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2. Meanwhile, even though Homecoming hasn't hit theaters yet, we've learned a little bit more about its sequel. Timeline-wise, the movie will follow both Infinity War and the fourth Avengers movie. Talking to Gizmodo, Marvel Studio president Kevin Feige compared the Homecoming sequel's impact to that of Captain America: Civil War. Feige said, "Like how the events of Captain America: Civil War impacted Peter as he was dropped off by Tony and expected to go back to continue his sophomore year, how the hell are the events of Infinity War and Untitled Avengers going to affect him as he, yes, goes back to his junior year?" Interesting. First things first though, Spider-Man Homecoming releases July 7th. It looks like Wonder Woman has smashed yet another record, becoming the highest grossing movie ever directed by a woman. Entertainment Weekly reports that the film has now made around $652.9 million globally, including more than $318 million in the US. That's more than Man of Steel and Iron Man made in their domestic runs. And of course, there's already a sequel on the way, which apparently will be set in the US, because history is one thing, but making money is what counts most in Hollywood. Looks like SpaceX, Elon Musk's private space travel company, has made history again. For the second time, the company has reused one of its rockets, which both flew and landed successfully in a recent mission. Musk said this time was even more impressive because the rocket had to withstand a higher degree of heat than the first one. This is a big deal because before SpaceX, no one had ever relaunched an entire rocket, which will cut the cost of space travel considerably. So this is another step in making commercial space travel a reality, which, needless to say, will be awesome, but only if there's a space Starbucks. Spacebucks? Starbucks! It works already! After raising $1 bajillion in crowdfunding, is Star Citizen already broke? That was the rumor this weekend after word got out that developer Cloud Imperium Games had taken out a loan from a British bank. This raised some eyebrows considering that the game has raised more than $140 million, and there's been speculation that the game is in trouble. But it turns out everything's fine. The developer responded to the controversy saying that its British office applied for the loan basically to get an advance against an upcoming tax rebate from the British government. They wrote, "Given today's low interest rates versus the ongoing and uncertain currency fluctuations, this is simply a smart money management move." So there you go, another internet rumor debunked. Star Citizen is still alive, your money is still being used. Well, that's about all the news we have for you today, but for more news from all the internet corners, even the hard to clean ones, be sure to like this video, and if you are new around here, give the Noah a subscribe, why don't ya? Thanks to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this update. DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing razors right to your door so you don't have to use the same dull, gross razor because it's a pain to get them from the store. They've got a whole lineup of razors too, so you can decide how fancy you want to get with them, plus extras for shaving or just keeping yourself genuinely clean, like Dr. Carver Shave Butter, Mint Cedarwood Body Cleanser, really nice amber lavender soap, and they've even got stuff for your hair, so all of your grooming needs are totally covered. DollarShaveClub.com is so confident in the quality of all of their products. Now you can get the first month of the club for $1 and the shipping is free. After that, it's just a few bucks a month. No long-term commitment, so you can cancel whenever you decide to try that sweet beard mustache combo out. There's no hidden fees, there's no reason not to do it, so get yours at DollarShaveClub.com/now.